Good evening, everybody, or morning. Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV here to bring you a live update on the South Korea plane crash. We now have live video. I want to show you of the crash site. We're going to bring you some updates here, but that is live video of the crash site right there from South Korea. And actually, I have footage of the crash, which I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to show you the big fireball. But I have that too. So give me 7 seconds here. Hang on, I'm going to disappear for about 7 seconds. Hold on. Yeah, so wanted to come on the air and give you an update about this. I've been hearing some new reporting. Terrible accident. Right now, only 2 survivors. And according to Yonhap reported a while back that authorities believe those are the only 2 survivors. I'll let you know if there are any more, but there were 181 people on board. And yeah, this plane, we don't really know what happened, but we know that it tried to land with no landing gear down, and it ran into like 1 or more walls off the runway and exploded in a giant fireball. So we are going to bring you some live coverage here. And again, we have this live footage of the plane wreckage. Really, the tail is the only part that really survived intact. So again, we're going to bring you some updates here, and I want to show you some of the video of the actual incident without the fireball. I need to observe the rules of the platforms that I broadcast on. So in the interest of not breaking any rules, we will show you the crash without the fireball. Okay, you can see they have a giant crane there too right now on the left. Hang on a second here. The official death toll is 127. That's the confirmed death toll. But right now, it is not believed that anybody else survived. Let me pull up here for you.
지금까지 들어온 제보에
I actually don't even want that audio on. So let me play you now. Also, I didn't have access to this before, but I have access to it now. Let me throw up this video. There we go. So I'm going to play you now this video. This is the video via AFP video credit Lee Gwen Young. This is the video of the plane. But the video will cut out right before the fireball. So the thing you're missing in this video is the fireball, which again, I have to respect the rules of the different platforms I show on. And given that it's in a plane crash where probably around 179 people died, we're going to not show the fireball. But I will show you here the video here. This is the video where you see the plane. It's skidding down the runway. There's no landing gear. And right at the end there, I've cut it out, but basically if I let it run any longer, you would see it run into that wall thing in a giant fireball, in a giant explosion. So on my X account, if you haven't seen the whole thing, you can go to my X account. I reposted it there from BNO News, had it posted. So it's out there if you want to see the full version with the fireball. I'm just trying to give you guys a picture of what happened here. And it doesn't take that long once it gets off the runway there to get into that wall thing. There's a berm and a wall. One of our viewers says no flaps, Mr. Wild Bill. I have heard a number of airplane experts say it didn't have its landing gear down. It didn't seem to have certain things like flaps down that are supposed to slow it down. Why was it happen? Why was it going so fast? Anyway, so we're going to give you some more updates on this, but I want to, we hadn't been able to show this before. Also, there's a berm and then a concrete wall. There's a concrete wall at the end of the airport, and there's also a berm before that. And now this plane is going from north to south. It's supposed to land, normally it would land going from south to north. So it's possible that planes normally don't land going in this direction, although I haven't confirmed that. One of our viewers had written to me, and he thought that planes normally, John Polk, and John thought that planes normally don't even land in this direction at all. And he said that the berm would be to protect from backblast. But just to be clear, and I did see a report. CNN, I'm going to see if I can find this from Yonhap too, but CNN had reported that the South Korean government, one of the agencies there, had said that the plane flew by from south to north, where it would normally land going in that direction, and then the plane was told to land coming the other direction. So again, I don't know if planes normally would land going in this direction. I did hear a aviation expert, David Susi, on TV say that he was surprised that there was like a wall or debris or whatever the thing hit. He was surprised that it was so close to the runway. He thought that was an issue. So I can't speak to that, but I'm going to give you some updates. Anyway, we can play this again in a second. But you can see it's just literally no wheels. It's just on the ground, belly landing. And if I let it play a little longer, which I'm not going to right now, you would see a giant explosion in fireball. All right, so we'll come back to that. And in the meantime, I want to also show you the live shot here from the airport. Thank you, Rizzo, for your support. Rizzo thinks he kept the plane level during the belly landing. Devastating. So I saw a report in Yonhap, which is a South Korean outlet. They had an article where one or more experts were saying they were surprised the nose wasn't down and the nose was up during that belly landing. All right, let me try to show you some more of the reporting coming out right now. Leon G says planes land in either direction if the wind doesn't interfere. Yeah, again, I'm not sure about that runway, whether planes normally don't land in that direction or not. This is a Reuters video right here. This is a live video from Reuters. This is a live video you're looking at. That's live. I don't know if it had landed in going the other way. Would there have been, not a wall there? Would it have been okay? I don't know. We also don't know. I believe I read this runway is roughly 9,000 feet long. We don't know how long it was on that runway for. The video we see, it's already on the runway. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know. When I was on break, I was eating a little something and I listened to some experts talk about this, and there's a lot of questions about this. It's not clear exactly what was wrong with the plane. It's not clear, did somebody make an error or not? We know the landing gear wasn't down. It's not even clear whether that was some sort of mistake or not. We don't know. There's reports that the plane may have suffered a bird strike shortly before landing. Is that true? If so, what kind of impact did it have on a plane? I heard one expert, I think it was David Susi, who said he didn't think a bird strike would take out the landing gear. So there's a lot of questions about this right now. Yeah, Roberts May Queen says there's a lot we don't know yet. So we'll take some comments from you guys. I did see something. All right, I have some more information here, which I'm going to show you in a second. We didn't have last time when we were on the air. So I'm going to show you a new report in a second. A couple reports. And we'll take some comments from you guys. But let me give you an update here. Hang on a moment. Okay, so I'm going to read you some from this article here. This is from AP. Death toll. It's actually higher than this. Where is it here? Hold on. Yeah, plane burst into flames after skidding off runway at an airport in South Korea, killing at least 127. It is believed it's 179 dead because only 2 survivors right now out of the 181. Oh, by the way, a quick thanks to our moderators. Roberts May Queen is moderating here. Thank you. Also, thank you, AJ Krause, for the memberships. Thank you, AJ Krause. I appreciate that. Also, on Twitch, thank you for moderating over there. Idaho Star, Surly Dev, and Traveling Slim, thank you. And on Linda Belk and Larry on X, and over there on Facebook, thanks to our mods there, I really appreciate it. Paul Anderson is there right now. Margaret Riley, thank you. Kay Lowry Body, all moderating over there. Thanks also, Susan Logan, for your support of the channel. So AP talks about this. The 2 people who survived were crew members. Okay? The two who survived were crew members. Okay, I want to show you something here. I want to show you something. This is from AP, and I've seen this reporting elsewhere, but I think it's quite important. Okay, check this out. Transport Ministry officials later said their early assessment of the communications records, hang on, let me do something here. Their early assessment of the communications records show the airport control tower issued a bird strike warning to the plane shortly before it intended to land and gave its pilot permission to land in a different area. I think that's a different runway. The pilot sent out a distress signal shortly before the plane went past the runway and skidded across a buffer zone before hitting a wall. So again, their early assessment of communication records showed the airport control tower issued a bird strike warning to the plane shortly before it intended to land and gave its pilot permission to land in a different area of the airport. Workers have retrieved the flight data recorder from the plane's black box and are still looking for the cockpit voice recording device. Okay? The landing gear of the plane appeared to have malfunctioned. Yeah, Laura Smith says, we've had other viewers suggested as well. Our viewer Laura thinks the two who survived may have been crew members who were sitting, in the jump seats in the rear of the plane. The tail is really the only recognizable major part of the plane still intact. DeAndre says, I'm just really stumped on if the pilot knew it was an emergency landing. There was really no reason to come in that hot without full flap and cut throttle. If too fast, go around and bleed off speed. Oops. Further live coverage is expected. Yeah, guys, the Canada thing, I don't really want to get into much detail. I see people saying there was a plane crash in Canada. There was an incident in Canada with a propeller plane that carries around 80 people where one of the wheels, I guess, one of the landing gear legs did not work properly. We talked about that earlier. At Halifax Airport. I'm not aware of any connection with this incident. It was not a big plane crash. So I don't want to, get sidetracked with that. But one of the landing gear legs did not work properly in that incident. Yeah, CBC said that a plane skidded down the runway and part of it caught fire apparently one of the plane's tires did not deploy properly on landing. And a witness that CBC talked to said nobody seemed to suffer any life-threatening injuries. And so that's all I know right now basically about that. CBC has a story about it. All right, we're waiting to get the live video back. Hold on a second. I'll show this again. And again, this is the video right here. No, that's not what I want here. That's the video. I'm going to play it again. I'm not going to play you the fireball, but this is the video of that plane landing without landing gear. And then it goes off the runway. And then right there, as I cut out, if I let it play a moment longer, you would see it run into that berm and wall in a giant fireball. I cut it out right before the fireball. It's Jeju Air, which is a popular very popular low-cost air carrier in South Korea. Hey, just a quick heads up. I don't know if it's because of the late hour. I've noticed a number of rude comments in the chat. I don't care if you have been viewing this network from day one. I don't care if you donate your entire lifetime salary to the channel, although I wouldn't want you to do that. But I don't care who you are. If you are rude, I will time you out and I will hide you. So don't test me because I'll do it. No need to be rude. If you're going to be rude, find another channel to chat in. You're not doing it in this channel. Susan Priest-Buchner says, looks more like liftoff, not landing speed. Yeah, Joe Burr, our viewer, mentions the entire video. I mean, the only part I'm not showing you is the big explosion. And it's terrible. But that's the only part you're missing in this video is the big explosion at the end. Jazzy Renee says, I did not realize the nose was up like that. Yeah, that's something that Jan Hap mentioned, saying that normally you'd expect the nose to be down. I believe that might slow the plane down too. This nose never went down. All right, let's get you some more updates. Oh, I have another shot. Hold on. I have a different shot to show you. There's a live shot of the victims, live shot of families at the airport. Can I get you this? Give me a moment. Let's see if I can put this up on the screen here. Why is this not working? Oops. What? Okay, this is at the airport, and that's families gathering at the airport. Is there sound on this?
승자 명단에 기록하지 않으신 분은 이 앞에 나오셔서 추가로 작성해 주시기 바랍니다. 이 부분은 기자분들한테도 공개되지 않고 유족한테만 개별적으로 연락이 갈 수 있게끔 우리 천산망이 우리나라 천산망이 좋잖아요. 그래서
So I don't know really what's going on there. Oh, there's somebody speaking to them. There's somebody speaking to them. But this is families at the airport. This is at the airport where the accident happened. It's very sad. And we should be getting a live shot of the plane area shortly. AJ Rods thinks these pilots did everything they could to land, potentially land the same way Sully did on the Hudson, only this event was on runway. Terrible news. Let me check something here. I'm going to check Yonhap too. The government said the plane crashed 6 minutes after. Hold on. All right. Government said, according to Yonhap, the government said that the plane crashed 6 minutes after warning of a bird strike just before landing. The captain of the accident plane had 6,823 hours of flying experience. It will take at least several months to find out the exact cause of the accident, according to Yonhap. So again, okay, so timing here. I'm seeing from Yonhap, new reports on timing from Yonhap. The airport issued a bird strike warning to the plane just before landing. 1 minute after the bird strike warning, the plane declared Mayday, which is like an emergency warning. And then 5 minutes after that, the plane crashed. The control tower warned the plane of bird collision at 8:57 a.m. At 8:58 a.m., the captain of the accident plane sent a Mayday signal. Then, all right, this is interesting. I have this timeline from Yonhap here. Mayday is a distress signal. So 8:57 a.m., control tower tells the plane, gives the plane a warning, a bird strike warning. 1 minute later, the plane sends a Mayday alert, Mayday signal. Then, 2 minutes after that, at 9 a.m., the aircraft attempted to land on runway 19, which was the opposite of the direction it was supposed to land, which is runway 1. And then 3 minutes later, the plane landed on runway 19 without lowering the landing gear and crashed. And then the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport said, according to Yonhap, during the first attempt at landing, the control tower issued a bird collision warning. And shortly thereafter, the pilot declared a Mayday. At that time, the control tower gave permission to land in the opposite direction of the runway, which the pilot accepted, and the process of landing again. It was confirmed it passed over the runway and it collided with the exterior wall. Oh, I got the live shot back from the scene. Live shot from the scene coming back right now. There's a live shot of the scene. 5:29 p.m. So again, the timeline is just before landing. I might have to go back. We might have lost the shot for a second. We might have to go back to the other shot until they get this one fixed. We'll do that one, and then we'll get to the other one. Again, just before landing, the control tower told the plane, gave the plane a bird strike warning. Then a minute later, the plane gave a Mayday alert. And then just 3 minutes later, it looks like, about 5 minutes later, 5 minutes after that, the plane landed on the runway without landing gear and crashed. And also, Yonhap reports that the captain had over 6,800 hours of flight time, and the first officer over 1,600 hours. The captain has been a captain since 2019, March, and the first officer has been a first officer since February of last year. One of the two black boxes has been recovered now, the flight recorder. I believe they don't have the cockpit voice recorder yet. General Buck Turgidson says Captain was not a rookie. Wow. I don't know if this is true, but the Yonhap article, which I think is basically based on what the government said, says it is expected it will take at least several months to several years before the exact cause of this accident is revealed. It took 11 months for the investigation report on the cause of the most recent national airline fatality accident, the Asiana Airlines accident at San Francisco Airport in 2013, to be published. And you're looking at a live shot of families at the airport. And we should be, hopefully we'll be getting back soon the live shot of the scene. Laura Stone says that timeline is ridiculous. TJ Adams says at least one survivor has talked to authorities news. Who? I mean, I heard there was one crew member was in the hospital and asked them what he was doing there. I don't know if he's talked to authorities yet. I haven't heard that the other one has, but I don't know. 2 crew members survived. Thanks, by the way, to Debbie James for the memberships. Thank you, Debbie. And Ryan Teasdale, our member. I'm sorry we don't have yet. We're waiting to get the other shot back for you. The Sugar O says, if they lose hydraulics, do they not have flaps and landing gear? Then correct or. So I'm not an aviation expert, but it is not clear why the landing gear wasn't down. We don't know if it wasn't working or if maybe I've heard some speculation, some experts saying maybe a lot of things were going along with the plane and it was just something they didn't do. They didn't put it down, as crazy as that sounds. Maybe a lot was going wrong at once. We don't know, what was working and what was not working on the plane when it was landing. If it's true that these, for example, flaps that would slow it down were not activated when it was trying to land, why is that? We don't know. Leon G says 1 and 19 are the same runway, just the 180 degrees the other way. I'll show you a map of the airport. Hang on here. So this is from Google Maps. That's the airport. So I don't know which is. So there's this there. When they say runway run and runway 19, are they talking about this and this, or are they talking about are 1 and 19 both here? I mean, there's basically this, and then there's this. I don't know if it's a taxiway or what it is. See, that says 1. That says 01. There you go, 01. Well, that's 1. Is 19 just going the other way? Oh, 19's going the other way. Well, there you go. That's very interesting. So 19 and 1 are the same pavement, just different directions. Well, I didn't know if there were 2. See, that says 19, and that says 1. The original way it was supposed to go was 1, going from south to north. It ended up going from north to south. Cal S says taxiway on right. So there you go. So planes do land in both directions. Apparently. As I mentioned, one aviation expert I heard while I was taking a break, he thought he was really surprised that you had, so, I mean, you have, down here you have like this berm or berms and you have a concrete wall. He was surprised that those were so close to the end of the runway. That's what he said. I mean, if we watch the video, I'm going to show you the video again, but without the fireball. But there's not, I mean, it's pretty quick after it goes off the runway. Here's the AP headline there. But this video is from AFP and Lee Gwen Young. But you can see when it goes off the end of the runway here, it's not long until it hits that wall thing. And again, I'm sorry, but I've cut out the explosion. But that's really all that's missing in the video, is you can actually see, I'll actually pause it at the end. Look, see that? There's your wall. Well, there's a berm and a concrete wall. So that's what, if I let this play, which I'm not going to, it would just hit that and big fireball. But you can see it leaves the runway. There's the runway. Leaves the runway and then right there. Justin says at those speeds, not long is relative. Sadanakai says he was coming in too fast. And another thing which I mentioned before is we don't know from this video how long was it on the runway for. Because you're just seeing that at the start of the video. This is the start of the video, and it's already past the terminal there. If I go to the map of the actual place, so here's the runway. See, the terminal's up here. Look, the terminal's right here. There's the terminal, okay? The terminal's about, roughly halfway. You can see when the video starts, the plane is already around here. It's past the terminal. So we don't know where exactly that plane came down on the runway. Did it just come down, or did it come down all the way up here? Was it sliding all the way? We don't know. But that's the terminal, but you're seeing it past the terminal in the video. It's already past it when it starts. I'm not aware that the plane had any kind of problems reported earlier in the flight. Oh, I'll B&O News posted a link from inside the plane that landed in Halifax Airport with a broken landing gear with only minor injuries. So I'll post a link to that in the chat too. Where is... Okay. Oh, hold on. I have the live video now. I have the live video back. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. There is the live video right there. That is from the actual scene. You can actually see, I think you'll be able to see part of the plane back there. Look at this. This is live video. VFRA dams is scary stuff. It's really unfortunate. LA2MEX, I believe that the runway is about more like 2 miles long. See if I can get a number on that for you. Yes, Muan International Airport on Wikipedia. It says the runway is 9,186 feet long. So it's closer to 2 miles than 1 mile. Look at this. Wow. Hey, guys, they have the tail. It looks like they're picking up the tail section. Look at this. Is there sound? Maybe I'll put my head. I'm gonna see if I can put my headphones on. See if this works. Here we go.
형님, 여기 내일까지 있어야 된다고요?
내일까지 있어야지. 내일 저기 분향소 차리는 데잖아. 시민들 오겠지. 아. 못 들은 척하고 집에 가버려.
So it really looks like they're lifting up the tail. Yes, as La Luna Face says, there is a video showing the plane from below before landing that appears to show flame and smoke coming from one of the engines. It's not clear whether it shows a bird strike. That is a video that MBC News posted. I reposted that on my X account. You can see it on my X account at Lookner. Wow. I don't. One of our Adam Galaxy. Adam, do you know the language? Adam says the guy just said he had to stay there till tomorrow. Is that true? Look at this. I don't even know what we're that's the tail, right? That's the. So we're looking like inside the fuselage. One of our viewers thinks that's the kitchen area. I don't know that. Oh, by the way, hey guys, I just saw this on B&O and I confirmed it on Yonhap. Confirmed. The confirmed death toll is now 167. The confirmed death toll is 167. So it is believed at this point that the ultimate death toll will be 179. But 167 is confirmed. 167 is the new confirmed number. Certainly condolences to the families of all who died. This is a live shot you are watching with the one remaining intact part, significant size intact part, the tail. They have it lifted up now.
か。そうですね。次が一応9時スタンバイぐらいになるんで、私のちょっと行って、
Ocean Wild thinks they're clearly salvaging everything possible for reconstruction and analysis purposes for ongoing investigation. Excuse me. Jack Swagger thinks the bird strike may have caused last-minute panic in the cockpit, leading to massive errors. Again, I'm reading you from a Washington Post article. Authorities said the airport's control tower had warned the plane of a potential bird strike minutes before the crash. Authorities rejected speculation that the incident could have been caused by the length of the airport's 2,800-meter runway, about 9,200 feet. Vicky Freeman says the data shows an approach from the south. Yes, this plane was taking a flight. It took regularly, and the previous several flights it took to this airport, same route. It had approached from the south and landed going from south to north. Today it did not. It tried to land going from north to south. Thanks, Barb Mac. Yes, Barb Mac, we had mentioned this before, that reportedly this plane was, it had tried to land, and it was, in that first, it did not end up landing on that first attempt. Barb mentioned a witness. I believe we read the story about a witness saying that, but we've been seeing that reporting that it tried to land initially, and then it didn't. We don't know the specifics on that, though. I think a number of witnesses said they saw it try to land and then go back up, if I remember right. Thank you, Barb Mac. I'll try to go over some of that when I find it again. By the way, authorities have switched from the Muan, the fire chief at the airport says authorities have switched from rescue to recovery options. Because of the force of the impact, says Reuters, rescuers are searching nearby areas for bodies possibly thrown from the plane. The two crew who survived have medium to severe injuries. The control tower issued a bird strike warning, and shortly afterwards, pilots declared Mayday, a few minutes before landing. News One reported, I don't even know what News One is. Reuters says News One reported that a passenger texted a relative to say a bird was stuck in the wing. Yeah, again, let me read you this quote from the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport via Yonhap. They said, during the first attempt at landing, the control tower issued a bird collision warning, and shortly thereafter, the pilot declared a mayday. At that time, the control tower gave permission to land in the opposite direction of the runway, which the pilot accepted in the process of landing again. So two attempts at landing. One in the opposite direction from the first. Are the two survivors pilots? I don't believe so. I believe the two survivors are flight attendants. I'm guessing they must have been in the back, but I don't know that for sure. Ruth Henson says, how would a bird stuck in the wing not let the wheels come down? Yeah, we don't know why the wheels did not come down. We do not know. Hasn't even been confirmed that there has been a bird strike. We don't know that for sure. Cheesy Heretic says, would it be too much to ask for redundant landing gear systems? I believe there are redundant landing gear systems on this aircraft. We looked up that before, but I believe there's some sort of... I know there's backup landing gear options on this aircraft. I believe maybe it's a manual one on a Boeing 737-800. I think, I'm not positive. I think we looked this up last stream. Chris S. says there's a gravity pull system. I mean, Google AI says the 737 landing gear can be manually extended in an emergency. Josh Tompkins says maybe there's too much was going on and they couldn't put the landing gear down in time. Anatolian says, why did the pilots attempt this on a runway that had an embankment just a few meters at the end of it? I don't know if it's a few meters, but it was relatively close to the end of the runway for what they were trying to do. Maybe this started as a mechanical failure, but there was bad decisions after that. That's what our viewer Anatolian thinks. I have no idea. Cal S says bird strikes can cause catastrophic failure because engines are the key to drive hydraulics and power. If it were severe enough, it could have affected ability to lower gear and control airspeed. Snitzel says, I think pilots were not prepared to solve the problem. In Azerbaijan plane, pilots were able to put down the plane after bad damage by a missile and have roughly half the passengers survive. We don't know exactly what happened to this plane. We don't know if the pilots had a choice here. Do not know. Barry says it was a rapid sequence of events. But what we do know is if there was a bird strike, it was pretty close to landing time. The control tower issued a bird strike warning 6 minutes before the plane crashed. I'm seeing something else here. Well, hold on. I want to show you this too. There's somebody speaking to the families. Somebody is speaking to the families. Hang on a moment. This is somebody speaking to the families. So this is at the airport where families are gathered. I don't know what he's saying. This looks like people giving some sort of update to the families.
가족분들 명단 같은 경우 만약에 누락되신 분들이 있으면 계속 알려주시기 바랍니다. 저희가 8시에 다시 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 그 대표께서 아까 이제 직접 확인을 하시고 싶다고 말씀하신 부분이 있었고 저희가 내부적으로 논의를 했는데요. 그 부분은 곤란할 것 같습니다. 그게 그런 사례도 있지가 않은 것으로 저희가 파악이 되었고 경찰이 지문조사까지 다 마친 후에 저희가 확인된 것으로 하겠습니다. 그 부분은 양해를 부탁드리겠습니다.
A lot of people asking things and
식사들도
saying
하셔야
things.
될 것 같고 저희는 계속 회의입니다만 그런 부분들이 있어서 8시로 했는데요. 확인된 분들은 개별적으로 연락을 드립니다. 명단을 그러니까 숫자만 말씀드리고 명단만 드리는 지금은 그렇게 드리는 것이 개인정보이기도 하고 가족 대표분들께서 요청하신 사안이기도 합니다. 예, 아까 그거 제가 그 3층에서 말씀을 직접 드렸었는데요. 그것은 저희 쪽에서 초기에 집계할 때 오류였습니다. 그건 사과 말씀 다시 한번 드립니다. 죄송합니다. 아까 말씀드린 대로 그렇게 제가 더 크게 말하겠습니다. 자, 그러면 8시에 다시 오도록 하겠습니다. 저희가 확인된 부분 지금 연락을 돌리기 시작했습니다. 30분 원하시면 그렇게 하도록 하겠습니다. 그러면 지금이 예, 맞습니다. 근데 그 부분인데요. 저희가 브리핑하는 인력이 따로 있고 그 다음에 회의하고 그거에 대해서 논의하는 인력이 따로 있지 않다 보니까 시간이 좀 어긋난 점은 저희가
So again, I can't tell what he's saying, but I wanted to show you some of this. This is families at the airport and some people talking to the families, which they've been periodically doing. Let me send you back over to this, which is, that is the scene where it's like the salvage operation, the recovery operation. Right there is the tail of the plane. You know, I just need about 1 minute here. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. See, it says Steve will be back in 1 minute. I'm coming back in literally 1 minute. 1 second. Thanks for your patience. You are looking at the recovery operation. It's not even a rescue operation anymore. That's a live shot. They have some sort of tether around the tail section. It's like the one remaining section of the one section of the plane that survived in some sense. Officially, the death toll is 167. It's expected right now it'll be 179 with 2 survivors. Yonhap reports that there were 40 people in their 50s on the plane, 39 people in the 60s, 32 people in their 40s, 24 people in their 70s, 16 people in their 30s, 10 people in their 20s, 9 teenagers, and 5 people under 10 years old. 5 people under 10 years old. All kinds of ages on that plane. 82, the passengers were male. 93 were female. It's terrible. And again, timeline-wise, shortly before landing, the control tower gave the plane a bird strike warning. 1 minute after that, the plane announced a Mayday emergency, and 5 minutes later, the plane crashed. Oh, I have something about the crew member in bird strike from Chosun. I think one of our viewers mentioned this. Chosun, South Korea says a survivor of the accident said a bird strike was presumed to be the cause of the accident. According to the fire department, one of the crew members who was rescued said it is believed to be a bird strike. Smoke came from one of the engines and then exploded. Again, it's confusing though, because it's not clear why would a bird strike keep the landing gear from coming down. There was no landing gear down when this plane tried to land. I'll show you a video in a second. Look at this. What's happening here? It's like wreckage, more wreckage. Mike S. says that's very difficult to understand. That was a seat? Someone said? This is a live shot right now. Guys just going through debris. Timothy Bibb thinks they forgot the landing gear during a stressful event. DeAndre says you can't forget landing gear. I don't know if they. Is there a world in which there was such an emergency they had to just bring the plane down and they didn't have time? I don't know. What is that right there? Crazy. Our viewer Damon says it looks like the aircraft only just touched down as the video starts. That I don't know. Maybe you're right. It is way down the runway before touching. You might be right. I'm not sure. Thanks Damon H for writing in. Is that I don't even know what that is. Is it a seat? Is it just a giant piece of the plane? Can't even tell. Unbelievable. Hold on. Row of seats. Several seats, some of our viewers think it was. Our viewer Hitlino says, I have South Korean coworkers in Busan. This is really sad. Let me just show you again the video of the actual incident without the fireball. This is the AP update there. You can see 167 official death toll, but it's expected to go up to 179. So again, this is a video clip. Just for the moment here, I'm going to turn the volume down on this other thing. And let me put this caption on. Video credit Lee Gwen Young via AFP. I have, for purposes of following the rules of the platforms I'm on, I am not showing the fireball, but I'm going to replay the video of this happening. But again, there's a fireball at the end, which I'm not showing you, when the thing hits the berm. And I have posted, that video is reposted on my X account at Lookner. You can go over there and see it. But this is the plane. There is no landing gear. It's not on wheels. It's just on the body of the plane. And then right at the end there, I cut it out before, but if I let it go a moment longer, you would see it hit that berm and the concrete wall behind it and have a big fireball right there. So it hits this thing right there. That's a berm and there's a concrete wall behind it. And if I let it go, you would see it just explode. It's terrible. I can't show that here. So, but I know a lot of you have seen it. It's not hard to find. Taketo Kitagawa says, I have never seen such a horrific accident before. I don't know. Well, who filmed it? My guess would be that Lee Gwen-young filmed it. I don't know why the person was filming. Was the person just taking, maybe the person was a plane spotter or something? That's a good question. But I believe that's AFP said credit Lee Gwen-young. So I'm going to assume it's Lee Gwen-young unless that's the person who owns it. It's really terrible though. It's really terrible. But you have to remind yourself, this thing is not on wheels. It's just skidding on the runway. Bacon Astronaut says lots of plane spotters around the world. Oh, someone aware of the Mayday? I don't know, Justin. The Mayday came 5 minutes before the crash. Beeb says, to anyone in utter disbelief that a bird strike could cause this, I implore you to do your research on Miracle on the Hudson or simply watch Sully. Seriously, this is not unprecedented. Thank you, Beebs. The concrete wall is the end of the airport. So at the end, let me show you on Google Maps here. Here's the airport. We're looking at down here. There's not much. The airport ends right here, right? So there's the runway. And then this is the end of the runway that it comes off, and it's not that much difference. The road is about 600 feet from the end of the runway. There's no more airport. That's the end of the airport there, right there. So, and if you look here, there's the end of the runway. And then you have these berms, and then that's the fence, but it's literally the fence. It's the concrete wall at the end of the airport. It's the end of the airport. So it came off of there, then it ran into, I think, these things and the wall. I don't even know if it made the wall before it exploded. I couldn't really tell from the video. But that's what's back there. Let's go back over to this. See what's happening there right now. That is the live shot. Doobsy says someone on Twitter said they were working on an extension but kept the wall up. I've heard that there was some talk of an extension, but also the authorities said that they thought that was not a factor in this. I don't know enough about it. Again, I heard one expert, David Susi, I think it was, say he was surprised that there was a wall, that there was those things so close to the end of the runway. I don't know. It was the flight was landing. It was coming in from Thailand. I don't know if the berms were supposed to catch planes overshooting the runway. One of our viewers thought that normally those berms are to block the exhaust from the plane because the planes would normally take off from there. I don't know that. I have no idea. John Polk, our viewer, thought the berm is to protect from backblast. I just don't know. I'll post a link to my X account where you can see, if you want to see it, the video where you actually see the fireball, if you scroll down, and also the video shot from below, which shows smoke and some flame coming from the right engine, it looks like, shortly before landing. Posting a link to my X account, @Lookner on X, in the chat right now. Thanks so much to our moderators, by the way. We have Roberts, May Queen, and Carms are moderating. Thank you so much. Linda Belk and Larry on X. Over there on Twitch, Big Ball of Yarn, Prairie Dawn, LB Prairie Dawn, Idaho Star, Surly Devon, Traveling Slim, thank you. Speaking of X, thanks to Kongler and Taco Conch for your support on X. And also thanks to our Facebook moderators, Margaret Riley, Paul Anderson, Kay Lowry Body, Ronald Egnor. Thank you. Majapadin says the nose was up because it's not slowing down. It is the deadliest air accident ever on South Korean soil, says Reuters. The control tower issued a bird strike warning, and shortly afterwards, the pilots declared Mayday. The bird strike warning was issued 6 minutes before the crash. Oh, update. Guys, the official death toll is now 174. That is the official death toll. 174. So only 5 people are unaccounted for now. 174 dead, 2 survivors. The other 5 are believed dead, but 174 is official. That's from Yonhap. Yonhap reports that aircraft failure due to bird strike is being pointed out as the main cause of the accident. The control tower issued a bird strike warning just before the plane landed. But the exact cause of the accident is unclear. Because Yonhap says the engine and brake system, other than the one that caused the bird collision, did not work. Probably not the best translation. One expert that Yonhap talked to said landing gear wasn't working. The wing top plates need to be lifted, but that didn't appear to be working either. There was almost no decrease in speed on the runway. It's possible that a bird strike caused problems with the plane's engine and hydraulic system. Another expert that Yonhap talked to, flying expert, said it's very rare that all three landing gear legs would not come out. And he said it's difficult to believe that that happened solely due to a bird collision. And then another expert said he thought it wouldn't just be a bird strike that caused, all the landing gear to not work. I was reading the Wikipedia article on U.S. Airways Flight 1549 that landed in the Hudson in 2009. That plane struck a flock of geese during climb out, and both engines shut down. Nick says, is it possible that shrapnel from the bird strike struck the rear of the plane's mechanics similar to the other day? That I do not know. Oh, I have another shot. Hey, hold on. I think I have a better picture of this from AFP, guys. Hang on a moment. Hang on. Is this going to work? Look at this. I got a little more clear shot here from AFP. Definitely more clear, although I need to kind of do that. Maybe I can brighten this shot up a little bit. Try to do this. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. There you go. I'll leave the audio on from both shots. Have the audio from the other shot? Let's see. Yeah, I do. The rest of the plane, Polar Cat, has basically been destroyed. Thanks to our member, Sneezing Eagle. Just checking for updates here. Richie MC says, "Are you sure it is not terrorism?" So, I have not heard any kind of reliable sourcing claiming that there's been any kind of sinister behavior going on here. But if that does get reported, I'll let you know. Oh, the other shot right now is pretty good visual. Actually, it's not. Yeah, that's the Reuters shot right there, but they got a little better focus on it. Nana of 9 Munchkins says pilot error. We do not know. Ken Aiken says this is just crazy. Pro Clicker thinks pilot error in the wall are the causes. Matthew Lawrence thinks bird strike did not cause this. There's the shot right there from AFP. BBC says authorities assume all the passengers have died except for the 2 crew survivors. BBC also says the passengers were returning from Thailand, where Many of them, it is thought, had been on holiday over Christmas. There were 2 Thai people, and the rest were 2 Thai passengers, and the rest were South Korean. So that would make it sound like people were coming back, mostly from Thailand to South Korea. Thanks, Joe H. says, compelled to show support for my high school friend Mercedes, who survived a plane crash in the Andes Mountains on her 21st birthday, losing both of her parents, being one of 4 survivors. Wow, terrible. I'm glad she survived, though. Thank you, Joe H. And also, my miracle mama. The bird strike warning was given to the plane shortly before landing, so presumably it was not that high up at the time. Thanks, my miracle mama. Let's see, take some more comments here. The air safety record, I believe Jeju has a good air safety record. Oh, the death toll, the official death toll is 176, guys. The official death toll is 176. Only 3 people unaccounted for now. That's it. The official death toll has risen to 176. I believe this is the first fatal accident for Jeju. I'll try to check that, though. Yes, it's the first fatal flight for Jeju, which was founded in 2005, says Reuters. It's a low-cost airline that ranks only behind Korean Airlines and Asiana Airlines in terms of number of passengers in South Korea. It's a popular South Korean airline. They've never had a fatal flight before today. The Gabelam says, surely a pilot can't land by mistake without the landing gear down. Does anyone know how much time passed between the first and second attempts? Not much. I think about 5 minutes. I'll try to check that for you. Only 3 people missing now. Police are trying to, rescuers or recovery workers are trying to find the 3 missing people. Yeah, Yonhap said during the first attempt at landing, Yonhap said the government said during the first attempt at landing, the control tower issued a bird collision warning. About a minute later, the pilot declared a mayday. And then I believe 5 minutes, and then the control tower gave permission to land in the opposite direction. And ultimately, about 6 minutes after the bird strike warning, the plane crashed. I'm going to show you guys just the video again without the fireball. Here is the updated death toll right there from AP. You can see 176. Only 3 people now unaccounted for. Unbelievable. Here is the video. I have cut out the fireball at the end, but this is the video via Lee Gwen-young via AFP of the plane. It's not rolling down the runway, guys. It is sliding down the runway. And you can see the wall coming up, the berm, but I'm not playing the fireball, but you can see the wall at the end. If you haven't seen it, it's just terrible. It's a huge explosion right at the end of this. Barry says, coming in hot. Digital user says, land with no wheels down. One expert I heard on TV a couple hours ago said that he thought if they knew they were going to land like this, then the airport normally might do stuff like, one thing they would do is put foam on the runway. But maybe they didn't have time. Kadu says this crash makes 0 sense. Our viewer, Try the Strat, says the real sad part is they probably would have had a better chance if they continued and landed in the ocean. Don Coe thinks it was at least 185 miles an hour, way too fast. Drewski Poo says, why wouldn't you pin the nose to the ground? Conan says, it's going so fast. VK4 Photo says the data shows steady 144 knots, then acceleration to over 150 knots, which may indicate trying to power up and regain altitude. That I don't know. I don't even know about that data, but thank you for mentioning it. I can't verify that at the moment. Mike West says they might have been okay had they not built a concrete wall at the end of the runway. This overkill thinks it landed way too long and never had a chance landing that far down the runway. All right, let me go back to the current shot right there. Oh, hold on. Let me go back to this shot here. There's a close-up there. Double Above Chaos says, as a former firefighter, we would spray or coat the runway down with Cascade foam for an emergency landing. Only 3 people missing right now. They have found, I guess, traces of everybody else. In case you missed it, just real quick, I want to show you this. Oops, I don't need that credit over there anymore. This is a Reuters article here about the crash. This is what it looked like earlier today. That was the scene earlier today when you had the fire, the big fire, There's the tail, and then nothing else really survived in any kind of significant way. Ronnie says there's got to be something wrong with the tech on the plane. Laura Stone says we need to know where the initial touchdown took place on the runway. Get more photos here. Manny from Miami thinks the two who survived were in the very back. Another photo we were looking at earlier, which I want to mention, if we go back here to the AP article, is... Actually, hold on, I'll show you in a second. This is from the AP article. It's this one. Right... Let me find it for you. No, not that, not that, not that. This one. No, there's a different one. Yeah, this one right here. Oopsie. That looks like the front of the plane. In case you haven't seen this photo, that looks like the place where the pilots would look out. And then there's this piece from the side with the windows. It's just off the plane. Tao says even if it was one engine out, they should have been able to deploy reverse thrust. I can play you the sound from the video. Here, hold on. So this is the AP article, but I'll play you the video with the sound on it. I have sound on this video. Hang on. You're going to hear some talking though.
지금까지 들어온 제보에 따르면 비행기는 착륙 중에 랜딩 기어가 내려오지 않았고 착륙한 뒤 활주로를 이탈해 중앙 담장 백사지가 폭발했다고 합니다. 지금까지 들어온 제보에 따르면 비행기는 착륙 중에 랜딩 기어가 내려오지 않았고 착륙한 뒤 활주로를 이탈해 중앙 담장 백사지가 폭발했다고 합니다. 지금까지 들어온 제보에 따르면 비행기는 착륙 중에 랜딩 기어가 내려오지 않았고 착륙한 뒤 활주로를 이탈해 중앙 담장 백사지가 폭발했다고 합니다. 지금까지 들어온 제보에 따르면 비행기는 착륙 중에 랜딩 기어가 내려오지 않았고 착륙한 뒤 활주로를 이탈해 중앙 담장 백사지가 폭발했다고 합니다. 지금까지 들어온 제보에 따르면 비행기는 착륙 중에 랜딩 기어가 내려오지 않았고 착륙한 뒤 활주로를 이탈해 중앙 담장 백사지가 폭발했다고 합니다.
Yes, it exploded right after this. If you go to my X account, I have it posted up there. Diamonds and Henna says it looks like the plane and the pilots were not prepared to land. Finger Games thinks no thrust from engines. Monkey says, kind of hard to tell, but does look like it had reverse thrust on. That I do not know. Oopsie. That is, I wonder, ambulance. I wonder if they found something else. So I'm sure they might still be finding remains there. They got some tents set up. There's another ambulance. Is that an ambulance? I can't tell, actually. Yeah, as I said before, I'll be interested in seeing what experts say about this, like Blanco Lirio, who has a aviation YouTube channel. Watch what he has to say. I am still seeing, no, don't see it. I was looking to see maybe if the 3 missing. So there's a graphic from Yonhap. And I can't show the graphic. I don't have the rights to it. But what it basically says happened is that, let me just check this out one more time. 56, 57. Yeah, I mean, basically the plane tried to land. Then there was a bird strike warning, and it pulled up, and then it was told to land. And then it gave a mayday, and then it was told to land coming in the other direction. So it did like a 180. I'll show you in a second. But so this is Flight Radar 24 right here. Oops, I don't need that up there anymore. This is Flight Radar 24. So the plane was coming in as it normally would from the south to the north. And it would normally just land here, runway 1, like this. And it would just land here. But as it was coming in to land, that's when it was given the bird strike warning and maybe hit by a bird strike. Then it gave a mayday. And then after it gave the mayday emergency, it was told to basically land in the other direction. So it basically just did a 180 up here, and then it landed on runway 19, which is the same runway, but it's just going the other direction. So again, was going to land, pulled up, circled around, and then tried to land going this way, and then goes off the end of the runway and hits the berms and the wall here. That's what happened. And they have this diagram on Yonhap which shows that that's the path it took. And this all took about 6-7 minutes. The pilot's experience, yeah, one had about 6,800 flyers. The captain had been a captain since 2019, had over, I think, 6,800 hours of flying time. Then the first officer, if I remember right, had been a first officer for about 10 months and I think had over 1,500 hours of flying time, if I remember that right. Nick asked about the other end of the runway. Well, if we go up here, you know, there's not really much room at the other end either. I mean, I don't see a berm there, but there's really not much. That's, oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm looking at. I'm sorry. Here's from Flight Radar 24. So on this end, I mean, there's a berm after the end of the runway and there's the wall. But, you know, if they were going the other way, it's not like there's not really much room at the end there either. Just eyeballing it. By the way, thanks Crypto King, and thanks Crypto King for shouting out the mods, and thank you to Calvin Aubrey as well. Thank you, Calvin Aubrey. Just really terrible. Have they found the last 3 people yet? When I last checked, the death toll had risen to 176 officially. Yes, the captain had over 6,800 hours of flight time. The first officer had over 1,600 hours. I'm getting that from Chosun. An expert that Chosun, South Korea News talked to, said it's unlikely that the landing gear would fail due to a bird strike alone. He said it is rare for a landing to fail due to engine failure due to a bird strike. This expert that Chosun talked to said the reason why the accident was so serious is because the runway was short. Another expert who Chosun talked to said it's impossible for a major accident to occur due to just one defect. You know what? This expert told Chosun it's quite a strange case that all of these things did not work. There's a hydraulic pump that operates the landing gear. It's doubled. And then if this is not possible, there's a device called an accumulator. This expert said it is quite strange that all 3 of these failed, and it's an accident that could not possibly occur in a normal aircraft. That's what an expert told Chosun in Korea. Tom Mix says, seems like there was a perfect storm of conditions that contributed to this disaster. Any dignitaries on board? I'm not aware of any, but I do not know. It's really bad. Our viewer, Hugh Finlay, says he obviously tried to land the plane. Poor pilots and passengers. Josh BFC says panicking pilots could have been the cause. Alicia Alexander says multiple things seem to have gone wrong. Condolences to all affected. Thank you, Alicia. Bruce says, why was the plane traveling at such high speed when attempting to land? Bruce says, why was the plane... sorry, I'm hearing two of me. Hold on a second. Dennis McNeely says, in my opinion, too many houses and people the other way. I don't know if it had to land right away for some reason. If it was losing engine power or something, it's a good question. I mean, this is what it looks like in the north end of the runway after the... up here, and then down here on the south end of the runway where it actually landed, it's there. Oops, sorry, you can't see it. You can't see what I'm looking at. Sorry. I thought you could see it, and you couldn't. Google Maps. Landed in the south. I tried to land in the south. This is where it went off the end of the runway and hit this stuff here. But that's what it looks like further south of there, of the airport. And then up here, further north of the airport, it's here. I mean, there's some houses there, but... Jason Kaler says black boxes in the tail section will know soon. The flight data recorder has been recovered. Last I heard, they had not yet found the cockpit voice recorder. Geek thinks they won't release those. I wouldn't be surprised if they release a transcript of the cockpit voice recorder. Easy Win says, think about people waiting at the airport to pick up their loved ones. Such a horrible thing. We were watching some video of families at the airport before. It's not good. Dennis McNeely says, glad they found them, but sad they all have passed. Teresa Gregory says, why didn't ground control tell plane 2 not to land till situation was cleared? We don't know the specifics on this. We don't know if they were told. The plane declared a mayday, remember, shortly before landing. The plane said it had an emergency. I don't know what the nature of it was. Maybe the plane thought it couldn't stay up any longer. The plane declared a mayday 1 minute after they were warned of a bird strike by the ground and 5 minutes before the crash. Yeah, the official death toll is 176. 3 people are officially unaccounted for right now. So guys, it is 5:03 a.m. here. We've been giving you some updates on this, but it is getting a little late here for me. I was hoping maybe at least we could get you the final assessment of the. Well, I think we can be pretty confident at this point there's only going to be 2 survivors. But again, the official death toll right now is 176. There are 3 people unaccounted for at this point. That's it. But it is not a rescue operation anymore. It's a recovery operation. So we could hope for some kind of miracle, but it doesn't seem very likely at this point. I think I'm going to start wrapping up this stream, but we may do another stream if we get more information, coming out. If there's big updates, maybe we'll do another stream about this. But I did want to come on tonight and update you with some of the further information that was coming in about this. You can, if you want, you can subscribe, follow the channel, Agenda Free TV. We cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda, Agenda Free TV. And turn notifications on. We have a notification system we set up where you get notified, you get sent a notification whenever we go live. It's free. I don't know when breaking news is going to happen, so it's a good thing to follow, a good thing to sign up for. The mods will post the link to the notifications in the chat. You can find it in the description of this video on Facebook and YouTube as well. But sign up for the notifications. And I'll post on X if I have updates about this. In the meantime, I will post on my X account, which is @Lookner. @Lookner on X. I've posted some videos and updates from today there. The full video of I reposted the video with the fireball, which I wasn't showing on the air, from B&O News, and some other things there. So if you want, you can follow me over there on X. @Lookner. As I said before, condolences to the families of the 179 people believed to be dead. Thoughts with those 2 survivors. 2 crew members survived. Just a terrible accident, and that the video with the explosion is just horrendous. It's like, I don't know if I've ever, there have been other plane accidents, obviously, but at least in recent memory, I can't remember one like this. It's so bad. The thing just explodes into a fireball. Hopefully they can figure out why. I'm sure they'll figure out why this happened. But hopefully it can be, something like this can be prevented from happening again. Barry says this was very bad. One PvP says it felt avoidable. That's the issue. Yeah, you just don't know at this point if this was something that could have been avoided. You hope that's not the case. I do not know. And I will say I've read and listened to comments from a number of aviation experts. There is not a consensus on what happened. I would say the consensus is we don't know what happened. That's the consensus. We don't know what happened. It's got to be investigated. It could take a while. It could take months or longer. But that's the expert consensus. We don't know. Why was the landing gear not down? Was there a bird strike? Was there anything wrong with the plane other than that? Was there some kind of human error involved? We just don't know. We just don't know right now. Cam thinks it could take several years to investigate what went wrong. CNN said the voice recorder was recovered. Is that true? I hadn't heard that myself, but maybe it's true. But yeah, it's just not known what happened right now. CNN said they talked to an expert who who was wondering why there wasn't foam on the runway and why there weren't fire tankers on the runway to go out there right away. Again, it's a great question. I don't know if there was a lot of lead time on this to get resources out there. It's a good question. Oh, yes, CNN did report that both black boxes have been recovered. CNN says the South Korean government says both black boxes have been recovered, the flight data and the voice recorder. Okay? So both black boxes have been recovered, and the runways at this airport will be closed at least until 5 a.m. on the 31st. I do want to thank our moderators so much for being here. Really appreciate it at this very late/early hour. Carms over there on YouTube, Roberts May Queen, and all of our other YouTube moderators, thank you so much. Linda Belk and Larry on X, on Twitch. Big Ball of Yarn, LB Prairie Dawn, Idaho Star, Surly Devin, Traveling Slim. Facebook, K. Larry, Body Margaret Riley. And Paul Anderson, Ronald Egnor, thank you. Thanks also to Ken Lance and my Miracle Mama for your support, and Captain Jerry Donnelly. My Miracle Mama says, so sad for all the families. What a nightmare. Yeah, it's really terrible. By the way, we do have a chat where you can chat with other viewers when we're not live. And it's the same link as the notifications link. We do it on Discord. It's free. So check out the chat if you want. Ooh, what's the camera doing now? Panning around here. Look at all the wreckage. Look at all the wreckage here. Wow. How did two survive? I mean, some of our viewers are guessing they must have been in the back with the tail. Because the tail, a lot of the tail survived. But just crazy. They have a dog. See, they have a dog there. Couple dogs now. Probably looking for remains. Wow. One of our viewers had commented how crazy it must be with the survivors. I mean, obviously, I'm glad they're alive, and I'm sure they're obviously glad to be alive, but think about that, knowing that you were one of the two people on the plane that survived. Thanks, by the way, to our subscribers over there on Facebook, Eve Richards, Lou Green, Robert Rial II, Margaret Riley, Kay Lowry Body, all of our other subscribers there. I very much appreciate it. And on Twitch, all of our subscribers there, like Wall Street and Shaggy, Big Ball of Yarn, all of our Twitch subscribers, thank you. And our YouTube members like Crypto King, Gary BB, Barb Mac, Ben C, Berry, that guy from that thing, Tony's Gabagool, DeAndre, Tina Fry, Eliza Jane, thank you. I appreciate you guys sending in your comments, sending me news updates. A lot of you have some aviation knowledge, sharing that with me. Thanks for your help. And quick reminder, for those who watch on YouTube, You might want to turn the YouTube notifications on as another way to find out when we're live. But if you do that, it's kind of confusing. Oh, what's going on here? You got some people with masks on. See all the people with masks on there? Really quick, on YouTube, if you subscribe, make sure you click the notifications bell and choose all notifications. Okay, click the bell and choose all notifications on YouTube. All right. Well, I'm going to start wrapping this up, but I do appreciate you being here for the coverage, and maybe we'll have another live stream if you know, there's a lot of updates. As I said before, we'll do another live stream, and there was a bunch of updates and stuff to show you, so we did another live stream. Python edits, I don't know why initially there was reported 3 survivors. For a brief time there was, but it quickly got changed to 2. Mad Monster says, unbelievable that 2 survived. You can see they have dogs out there right now looking through. As far as I'm aware, they're still looking for 3 people. Yeah, our viewer was wondering if maybe they had found somebody, rescued somebody, then they died, but there's been no reporting saying that I've seen. Just so you guys know, I just saw it right now from Yonhap. The death toll is now 177. There are 2 people missing. The official death toll has gone to 177. It is believed it'll end up at 179, but I just heard that right now. It just got reported. There are only 2 people missing right now. That's it. Laura Stone says, maybe looking to confirm a bomb wasn't involved. I don't know. Yep. 177 is the official death toll. 2 people unaccounted for, presumed dead. But that's it at this point. Okay, that is it. I'm going to wrap up our stream right now. So that is it for now. You've been watching our live continuing coverage of this horrible plane crash in South Korea. And we may do another stream if there are big updates on this. Okay, so that is it for now. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.